Colorado.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, good.
Where are you living?
Good job,
Jeannie.
Colorado Springs.
Oh, you're in Colorado Springs. Fantastic.
They had been in Dallas.
That's what I thought. I thought you were in Dallas. I just flew down from Dallas this morning.
I finally escaped the heat. I'm back in Colorado.
Yeah, it's still in the 80s today.
Is
But
it really?
Yeah, Monday it's supposed to get chilly, finally.
Now, what part of Texas are you guys in?
We're in Montgomery, which
Near
is north of Houston.
North of Houston.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's Lake Conroe and the Woodlands, which
Okay.
is in Spring, which is north of Houston, and we're just north of there in Montgomery. We're on the north shore of Lake Conroe.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
You get some humidity
Nice.
down there.
yeah, but you know, this is a nice time of year right now. When we moved here in July, it was hotter than ever.
I
But
bet.
we don't mind the humidity. We don't mind. We love Texas, and
We're on the west side. There's north.
well, yeah, that's true. I mean, relative to
I'm the navigator in this family. He flies the plane, but I tell him where to go.
at least twice a day.
You think that surprises us, Jeannie?
So,
Uh,
David, are you retired?
No, not yet. I wanted to do it soon, but we're up here helping Candace. She's going, my middle daughter, she's going through a difficult divorce right now, so she needs
Oh
a place
boy,
to
I'm sorry
land.
to hear that.
And she's got 3 kids, so we enjoy being around the grandkids up here.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
there's your sister coming on. I
Oh,
just let
good.
Diana in.
Bridget had 3 kids when we were in Texas, and so we got to hang out with them for 13 years.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful.
The oldest is driving now, so we said, well, it's Candace's turn. We'll come up here.
Wow,
So I'm still fixing Fords. So
fantastic. Diana, how are
oh,
you?
there's
Hi,
Diana.
Hey,
Diana.
Diana.
You are.
How cute you are.
You are. It's been so long.
I
Oh, it's so
know.
good to see you.
We've got, you remember Dave? Dave Rickestead? Liz
David
Fitz
Rickestead.
is there, and Penny's here, and
Yeah.
this is
Hi,
my sister
Diana.
Diana.
Uh,
I can't hear you,
That's-
Diana. You might be muted. Unmute yourself. Or do we need to
No,
unmute her?
Say something, Diana. Oh, you're not talking. Yeah, no, it's on her end because we don't have her muted.
Still not coming through, darling.
So Liz, what are you working on today? You sewing?
Besides Halloween.
Well, it's supposed to be Halloween. Can you hear me? Did I do it
Yes.
right? Okay. Woo! Did it right. Penny and I are so proud that we can do this, you know.
I know, huh? Good job.
So Halloween never happened for us, sad to say. People think that they need to buy costumes from Walmart, Amazon, Spirit Halloween. I have 540 beautiful handcrafted costumes.
Wow.
4 of them have been rented.
Oh boy.
So
Wow.
I make tote bags, I make gnomes, I paint rocks, I do all kinds of things just to keep sewing. And I never stop with alterations. I don't love them, but it's definitely job security to fix zippers and
Yeah.
tears and fun
Gee.
stuff.
Hi, Jean.
Jean Dodolo, how are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
fine.
hear you.
There's
You're just as
There's
handsome as
Jean.
ever.
Hi,
Jerry.
Jerry Nickel.
Hey,
Hey,
Jerry.
you guys.
Very.
You still got your tie on?
I
Jerry?
do. I just got home. So,
You're looking good.
well, you guys are too. It's good to see you.
We
Hey, look
gotta-
at this, Jerry. We're kind of matching. I've got purple on too.
You know, they say when you get old, you wear purple. I don't know what that means.
Who says
Uh-oh.
that?
Probably me. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a friend of mine that keeps dyeing her hair purple.
Oh my gosh.
I just don't have the I don't have the guts to do that.
Yeah, me neither.
Diana,
Yeah.
are you coming through yet?
No.
I can see
No.
your lips moving, but your audio isn't coming through.
You know what? Maybe leave and then come back in, but it's definitely on your side because everything's open here.
Gene, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just have a little bit of a cold. So
Well,
I'm
you
I
sound
think I'm on
good.
I think I'm on the back end of that. So
Good.
otherwise doing well.
I got to tell you guys, that just joined, I got a call from Susan about a half hour ago. And unfortunately, Brad has developed a bad infection. He had 103 temperature this morning. And so he is at the hospital right now. They're doing, they're taking blood, and they've got him on a intravenous IV drip going right now, trying to get this infection under control. So unfortunately, he is not going to be able to join us for this call. So we're recording this call. Hello,
Hey,
Scott.
Justin.
Hey.
Can you hear us, Scott?
I see you, Scott.
I see you, Scott. I'm not sure he can hear us yet. Oh my gosh, Diana, I can't hear you.
I don't know who this is because they
A Zoom user
haven't put in their name and they're not, I can.
hooked up to that. I wonder if that's Faye.
Am I audible? Can I,
Might be.
are
Yeah.
people
Oh,
speaking?
Sherry.
That's Sherry.
Sherry?
Oh, there we go.
Sherry, how are you?
Oh,
David?
Sherry.
Oh my
Can you hear me?
gosh.
Dave's here too, but he thinks he needs to
Faces
be
are
out for a
lovely, but I
walk.
can hear nothing.
Sherry, can you hear
There's
us?
Scott. Ah, Sherry.
I can. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just
Yes.
fine.
Huh.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good.
Diana, can we hear you? No, we can't hear you, Diana.
I could read your lips, but that's about it.
Scott, can you hear us?
You know what? I'm gonna text you,
Hi,
Diana.
guys.
Hey, Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
Bonnie, how are you?
And it's Jerry.
Hi, I'm Anita and Elaine.
Hi.
Hey, I'm not.
Hey, Jerry.
Well, it's great to see all of you here. I was just telling the group that unfortunately Brad has got a 103-degree fever.
Oh, no.
And so he's in the hospital right now getting IV set up for some antibiotics. And he's not feeling very well. So I got a call from Susan. And so he is not going to be able to join us for the call. Jim, Dick,
Hey,
how
Jim.
are you?
Hey,
Hey,
there he is.
Man, look at that handsome guy.
Honey, can you admit, can you do
Oh,
that?
there's
I'm trying to
Anita.
text- yeah, that's-
Hi.
Hi, Anita.
hey, Anita.
Here comes Elaine. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi.
Hey
Elaine.
there.
Hi there.
Sherry. Hey, Dee.
Hey,
How are you?
Carol. Carol and
Hello.
Dwayne.
Art
And
King, how are
Dwayne.
you?
Hi.
Very
Hi,
good.
Zane. Hi, Jeannie.
Hey, Zane.
Dwayne, good to see you guys.
Elaine.
Been a while.
Yes, it has.
Glad you got this together.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just wonderful to see everyone. I don't think it's been, oh gosh, it's been so many years since I've seen so many of you. Now, we went to the reunion last year for the class of 73 and we had just a wonderful time. We're planning to go this April for our class in 74. You know, the privilege we had of being classmates and living together in the dorm just created a lifetime bond that is irreplaceable, you know.
Mhm.
And so as I go through my 4 annuals and look at the friendships and the experiences that we had together, it just brings back so many fond memories of different clubs and organizations that we created together. quite frankly, I forgot I was our sophomore class president, and I was looking at some of the, oh, wow, you're a really cool president. Way to go. And all of our lingo for the 70s. Oh, wow. And of course, Art King was going to be a future BD5 pilot. Hope.
Yep.
And we all had such great dreams and aspirations. And, it's a wonderful privilege that we have of doing, life the way that we have wanted to do it. And we are saddened by the ones that we have lost. And so the motivation for us getting together, of course, is not to just, think about and share with each other, but we were concerned about Brad and his battling this cancer thing. I mean, him and I talked maybe a couple months ago, and Jerry and Penny, this was Brad's idea to have a little get together before our 50th, and his idea was maybe do it in the fall of this year or next year prior to our 50th. And so when we learned that he was pretty sick, we thought, we need to do this sooner than later. And by golly, he can't even come today, because he's just not feeling up. Now he's going to be fine. I think they just got him in the hospital trying to get this infection under control.
Here comes Clayton.
So, Scott, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and
Oh my
clear.
gosh.
There we go.
Welcome, Scott.
Hi, Dee.
It's
Hi.
probably 2:00 in the morning where you are.
It is indeed. Yeah.
You
that's
are.
You look wonderful for 2:00.
That's a small price to pay for seeing all these young faces.
Put your glasses on, Scott.
I'm having to do a major reset in my memory now. So that's a joke. That's a joke because I'm sure you're all having to do the same thing with me. I pass a mirror these days and say, "Who is that guy?"
Who's that old person in the mirror?
Don't feel lonely.
Clayton
That's
Moore.
true. Hey, Clayton.
Welcome, Clayton. Can you hear us, Clayton?
Bill and Sherry.
Oh, Sherry
Oh,
and Bill.
Hey. Yeah, good.
Daryl Payne, welcome. How are you?
We can
I
only
don't
see
know
the
if
top of his head.
Yeah, maybe lower your camera or sit on a book.
I
Daryl,
don't know if you
can you hear us? We can
I
see
don't
the
think
top
so.
of Daryl's head. Karen, nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
you're coming through beautifully.
Hi,
And my
Karen.
We,
Hey,
we
so
can
and
hear-
my brother Steve is here also headed over to join me here at this chair.
Oh, good.
Good.
Bill
So you
and
can-
Sherry.
Can you
so
hear me?
Nice to see you guys.
Hey, Seymour. Good to
Good.
see you all.
Can
Hey
you
there.
hear us, Bill? Kirkpatrick?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear us?
Oh,
Yes, you guys.
Yes, we got you.
Sherry,
Okay.
our hearts go out to you. We loved your dad so much. We
Yes.
know that it's been a sad week for you guys, and my golly, what a big part he was of all of our lives. It's just we were all sad to hear his passing. So our hearts go out to you, Sherry and Bill.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Jim, Dick, what are you doing? Are you still in California?
I am still at PUC. I retired from being principal there for many years, and now I do fun stuff like join the choir, and I'm teaching one class at the college. So, yeah, I'm keeping myself busy.
Fantastic. That's wonderful. What are you
just
singing?
will not fire up. I
Fire.
have no idea what's going on.
We can hear you, Daryl.
Daryl Payne, we can hear you. We can only see the top of your head. Put a phone book under your chair.
Under your butt.
Gwen planned this.
What are you doing? Oh,
Well, I wanted to, some of you, Steve, nice to see you.
Thank you. Yes. Showing that it's on, but it just doesn't want to give us any volume. Quite a little reunion we have going here.
It's absolutely wonderful.
Lovely.
I'm not sure if we'll have more joining us, but for those of you that
They're probably
didn't
talking
hear
about
my
us right
earlier,
now too.
And we are recording, so.
we're recording this. Unfortunately, Brad has got a bad infection that developed today. And he had a fever of 103. So he's in the hospital right now. They're trying to get that under control. So I talked to Susan earlier, and they're not able to join our call today because Brad is just pretty under the weather with his fever. I think she's pretty optimistic they'll get this under control, but oh my gosh, it's going to be a battle for him. You know, it
just does not come.
These
I
kinds
don't
of
know what's going on.
things, just one thing leads to the other. You know, you're battling one side and you do a treatment for that and it creates other problems, you know. So we need to keep Brad and Susan in our prayers and thoughts and each other, and we just hope for the best, you know, that Brad will be able to beat this. So it's a tough situation. He's in Florida.
I can give people an update if some of them need it.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
We'd love that.
Although it's likely some of you have, may have talked to him in the last 2 or 3 days, and I talked to him a long time. I don't know, sometime this week, and so maybe someone else talked to him since then. I don't know, but yeah, it's. I feel like I'm talking to siblings right now. I mean, there's something about how a disproportionate impact high school friends have on your life, and the people I'm looking at right now hold a higher position than friends I've made since. It's kind of odd that and I've made some very close friends along the way, but it's so fun to see you. I think we need to reschedule or not reschedule it, but schedule another one when Brad's available, because
Amen.
This is really
Yep. Good idea.
it's quite easy as we all know who have spent a lot of time on Zoom meetings. But look, this came out of nowhere. I think everybody knows that he was over at our house on Labor Day for a breakfast, and my kids, I think 4 of our kids were there, and they invited Brad and Sue over to just have breakfast with them. And obviously Michelle and I weren't, but he was acting unlike Brad, not in an inappropriate way, but people would ask him questions and he would say things like, well, that's nice, but wouldn't really answer. And that's not like him. Everyone who knows him, you just have to ask a little question and he's willing to really engage. And he wouldn't. He just would make a pleasant response, but not an answer. And my son-in-law asked him about something he's involved in, and again he just said, well, that's nice. And Susan figured out something was going on, but it wasn't as dramatic as the kids thinking there was something wrong. They just thought, well, he's really preoccupied or something. but Susan was smart enough. She said, you know what, it's about time for us to go. And he had kind of a hard time finding his shoes at the door. But that happens to all of us sometimes when there's a sea of shoes, at a door. So still, no one was given it that much thought. But our kids told us when he walked out the front door, they all said, "What's with Uncle Brad?" And Susan knew that something was up, and she got him in the car, and she drove him right to the urgent care. He had within a very short time, he had a major seizure, grand mal seizure, and so they took him right to the emergency room where he had a major heart. I don't think it would be considered a heart attack, but a defib going on. And so I have marveled many times, many people would have said, you know what, you're not acting particularly well. Why don't we get you home and you can lay down and get a drink or something. But she had this sense that something was going on, and she took him. Had they gone home and he would have, laid down on the couch for a while, I don't know that he would have survived. Actually, they did major intervention in the hospital. From there, I think everyone knows what they found. Did the MRI and saw a tumor. He had the tumor removed 5 days later, and we were still kind of in the dark, other than knowing what was going on, but not knowing any of the test results or anything. And then a couple of days after that, it was diagnosed in a much more serious way. That I think we were still thinking, oh yeah, benign or something. But then when you get the diagnosis of stage 4 glioblastoma, anybody who knows about diagnosis it doesn't get much more serious than that. And I have known, and I think everyone here have known people with glio, and it's challenging for sure. Probably most of you know that Fred Cornforth is battling glioblastoma right now as well. And so he had his surgery, and that went very well. Brad is super fit, and they put in a pacemaker, not because there's anything wrong with his heart. I guess there were some reasons, and but they said he has the body of a much younger person, and that really contributed to some good outcomes for the surgery. And I flew home around that time, and was able to spend 2 great weeks with him, and with Mom. And Mom turns 90 in a couple months or so. She's still driving. She's still driving and sharper than I am. So it was great, obviously, to have us all together. And Brad and I spent lots of time together. He recently built a home about a mile as the crow flies from our place, south of Spokane. And we were looking forward, and are looking forward very much to to being around each other a lot more. But that was kind of the gold standard. We were going to do that. And when we were home, it was really fun. We were able to jump in the car and go up and see Jim and Bill Dick. Jim was up in the Spokane area because his son lives up north of Spokane. So that was a real pleasant surprise. And Brad and I got a lot of chances to talk, and it's really hit me hard. Obviously, you share DNA with someone, that's pretty big deal. But I think the only people you share your complete life experience with is a sibling. You know, all you have to do is say, remember that person or that place we lived, or about 2 words, and they know right where you are and you know what you're thinking about. And I realized your sibling is the only one that you can do that with. So this has been a challenge. His spirits are really good. Sometimes it's irritating. He's a little too philosophical about things, and I got to slap that around a little bit in him. And no, I'm teasing. But he is fairly accepting of it. And now he's under chemo and radiation. He decided to have that done down in Orlando, where Brent, his boy, lives and works, which makes a lot of sense because the radiation takes about 3 minutes every day, and the rest of the day, you're wondering what to do. So, and I asked him how he was doing this time, and he said, it doesn't seem like I can process math as well. And he says I have to really think to figure out some math. And I said, well, what's my excuse? And but no, he sounds pretty normal to me, kind of more deliberate sometimes. And but he says, he's the chemo and stuff's making him pretty tired, but he says, when I realize I have to spool up, if there's something going on or a conversation going on, he says I can spool up and engage just fine. But my body is saying, hey, why don't you just take a nap? And that's not like him. He's always raring to go. And so that's a bit of a change for him, I'm sure. Okay, I think I'm talking too much, but that's the update on him. And they are returning back to Spokane around Christmas time, and their boys are coming up there, so that will be fun. Michelle and I are returning from India permanently at the end of this year. I'll still be working kind of remotely for a while, but so it will be really good to be around him. Our hope and prayer is that that the chemo and radiation do what it's supposed to do and
Amen.
Stop the growth of the tumor and shrink it. The doctors tell him that glio treats everybody differently. Every person has a different experience with glioblastoma. So we'll see how this goes. And obviously divine healing can and is a very real option. And that's my update.
Scott, thank you
Thanks,
so
Scott.
much. Bless your heart. I appreciate your sharing that. We all feel the same way that you feel regarding your comment about, our siblings. We feel like brothers and sisters. We all enjoyed our years together at Mount Alice. Daryl and Gwen, welcome. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we finally fixed. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
We hear it.
I couldn't get the-
felt like you were
Couldn't
kind
get
of
the
one of our
volume on this
siblings.
computer, so we put it on our cell phone.
Okay. Oh, you look good. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
At least part of us do.
Can I tell a Brad story?
So
Yes.
Yeah, geez.
Asked a question.
So
So I apologize for my voice. I'm kind of getting over a cold, but I can't remember if it was, my junior or senior year, but we had, can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We had the opportunity to go to what they called the Academy Bowl at Laurelwood Academy, and Brad and Bob Hansen were the contestants for Mount Ellis. And on the way, and if Fran was on, she could say it better than me, but we asked questions all the way there to help prep Brad and Bob Hansen. And I can't remember it was Patriarchs and Prophets or Prophets and Kings, but all the questions were from one of those books. And so during this Academy Bowl, there was, Mount Ellis and Laurelwood and Gem State and Wava, I think, and I can't remember if there was another one. And so they had to, they were sitting on a button, or somehow they could press this button, and then after the question was read, whose ever light went off, they got to answer the question. And so Brad and Bob figured out they could sit somehow just barely on this button. And as soon as the question was almost before it was finished, they were off their seat. And that's the light would go on, and he'd go, Mount Ellis, Mount Ellis. And they would answer these questions, and most of it, probably, I would say probably 95% of the time, they got it right. That was the last time they ever did an Academy Bowl. But Mount
They had
Ellis
an unfair advantage, huh?
Yeah, Mount Ellis just wiped everybody else off the map on that one.
That's a great story, Gene.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, listen, guys, we are recording this because we want to share this with Brad later. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just give each person an opportunity to just summarize what you've been doing and share your love with Brad and Susan. And so we'll just kind of start at the top. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, but we'll start with you, Liz, because you're kind of in the top left corner, and just share what's been going on, and send a little love out to Brad and Susan and each other. And we'll just go around the room here and get this on a recorded session for Brad and Susan and for each other. Go ahead, Liz.
Hi, Brad. Hi, Susan. I'm so glad to be here that they're recording this for you. And Gary retired in March after 43 years working at the penitentiary. Yay! I am still doing the costume shop. It's now been 36 years, and I sew for a lot of people. I have a busy Facebook page called My Town Walla Walla, which many of you follow me there. Thank you. So Brad and Susan, I love you. I wish you the best. And next.
Thank you, Liz. Dave, you're next up.
All right. Carrie and I have been married for 43 years now. Had some ups and downs, but praise the Lord that he's walked us through it and doing the best we ever have. We're privileged to have my middle daughter, Candace, living with us right now with her 3 kids, but we're in Colorado, so we're in the mountains. I'm a mountain man at heart. I love mountain biking still, and snowmobile when I can, so it's good to be back in this neck of the woods. Still fixing cars. I've been with Ford Motor Company for years now, mainly doing diesel heavy line work. But my joy is my family and my grandkids. And Brad, I have great memories of you. You were always such a kind, gracious influence in my life. I felt like you saw me and you interacted with me whenever you saw me. And it's been a joy. It was good to be your neighbor. You and Scott were neighbors up at the beginning. But know that we love you, and we're praying for this situation, and we're praying for God to intervene. And one way or another, we will see you at some point and be able to rejoice with you. So hang in there. Bless you and Susan and your family.
Thank you, David. Penny, you are on the on the
Oh,
dot.
I'm next. Okay.
You're next.
Well, thank you. Hi, guys. Wow. There's been so much that's happened. I mean, all of us have got such full lives. I know. I, as you know, was remarried. Tim and I just celebrated well, it was back last March. March will be 23 years, which is hard to imagine. It's just been amazing. God has been so faithful. And, we adopted Madison and Micah. We've had them both since they were 1 and 2 days old. Madison is now 18 and Micah's 16. It's just amazing. And my 2 older kids, of course, are grown. I keep joking that the Lord knew I could handle 4 kids, but they had to be 25 years apart. And so anyway, and then we have another boy that we call him our son too, that escaped North Korea and lived with us for several years. And he's still in our lives and has a restaurant in Boise that's just amazing. And so anyway, but we are just staying busy. I am doing the books. My background is nursing, but since we adopted the kids, I've been home. And so Tim started his own electrical contracting business. And so I'm doing the books for that. And so I feel like I've just been on this ginormous learning curve and it's been amazing. But even though I'm old, I can still learn. And so that's been very encouraging to me. And so anyway, but Brad and Susan, we love you guys so much. And I'm so glad we can do this and just be there and just let you know that you are in our prayers always. And, just like David said, we know that we'll see you again.
Thank you, Penny. Jean Dodolo, you're on the stage.
On the stage. Well, right now, both Lorna and I are retired. She has an opportunity to fill in at least for a little bit to help instruct some of the nursing students at Walla Walla University. And so she's been doing that just part-time. And I'm not sure how long that's going to last, but she enjoys it for the moment. We've been spending some time with the grandkids. We have 3 daughters and 4 grandkids. 2 of our grandkids are somewhere on the autism spectrum. And so we've been spending some time with them more since we retired and kind of try to help them with some of their social skills and whatnot. And I thought at first retirement was a little hard to get used to. And now it just seems like I'm just as busy, just doing different things for the most part. But I enjoy putting together some of the Mount Ellis 70s reunions. And I'm hoping to get another one going maybe the summer of 2025. So I'll let you all know as that develops. And maybe while you're all here, you could give me just a little bit of input. I'm not sure if the class of 74 is planning to do anything the Thursday night prior to alumni weekend, the Friday morning. And if they're not going to utilize that time, I was strongly considering doing another 70s party Thursday night and then something Friday morning in adjacent to alumni weekend in April. But I wasn't sure what everybody thought, if they would like to do that. And I didn't want to step on the class of 74's toes in any way if they had something going on. So what do you think?
Yeah, they were seniors when we were freshmen, so you have to be careful of them.
You probably deserved everything you got.
Probably.
Jerry Nickel, you're looking good, my friend.
Thank you. So I retired in January. And so now I'm getting really good at vacuuming, mopping floors, cleaning the kitchen, doing dishes. You know, my wife is standing over there looking at me like, come on now. But I agree with Jean. It was tough at the beginning. It's just like I didn't know what to do, but it's getting busier, and I enjoy, well, most of the time I enjoy working on cars. So David, I've got that going too, but not, well, I actually drive a Ford. So what can I say? But we're living in rural Eastern Oregon and just enjoying it. It was 11 degrees this morning when I got up. So supposed to be record cold for us, they say, for today. So we'll see how the rest of the winter goes. But Brad and Susan, I know we've talked, and you know how much I love you guys. It's been such a blessing to reconnect, and I am looking forward to more times together. So just God bless. You know, we love you.
Thank you, Jerry. Diana, can we hear you?
No, she sent a message.
Okay.
She's having some
Okay, Diana's having some issues.
sound connectivity.
She sent a message, so that'll be on the tape as well.
Well, that's a shame.
Jerry Wolliver, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. What's been going on in your world?
Well, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Well, I retired 2 years ago. I turned 65 and I actually retired on my birthday. It was lovely. Dave said he's going to work till 70, and every day he comes home and he sees how relaxed and comfortable I am, and he goes, I don't know if I can make it for 3 years. But we'll see. That's his plan. So I have 3 daughters, and I've got 2 granddaughters and a grandson. My grandson is 6 weeks old now, and I get the privilege of taking care of him for a couple of hours every morning. So the Hannah and her husband can get just a tiny bit more sleep. And I'm loving that. It's really great. We also had a very cold morning here in Walla Walla. It was it wasn't 11 or 9 degrees, but we had our first really hard frost this morning. But life is just going along, just super enjoying the grandkids. I did have knee surgery a couple weeks ago, so I'm hobbling along. My husband went out for a walk, and I'm like going, oh man, the sun is out. It's so beautiful. I should be walking. To Brad and Susan, you are in our hearts. I keep in touch with OD, and you guys know that we're buddies. So I hear a lot about what's going on. And anyway, you are in our prayers. And we are looking forward to you being back in the Northwest, where maybe we can all connect in person again. So prayers to you, and thinking of you while you're in the hospital.
Thank you, Sherry. Bonnie Paddock, how are you? Thank you for joining us. It's so good to see you.
Hello.
What is going on in Alaska?
Yes, I've been in Ketchikan, Alaska since '95. I actually came for 6 months and never left. It was enlightening to find a small community where I could get involved and have friendship and community, much like I felt when we were in high school or when we were in college, that being connected with people on a deep level was really important to me. I've been a professional massage therapist since 91, and it is not a job, it is an avocation. I don't ever plan to retire. I think it fulfills a couple of my love languages, and it is a divine assignment for me. And I get the privilege of praying for people all the time, whether it's for heart healing or for physical healing, or for just to help them connect with God at some level. One of the ministries I'm involved with and actually leading right now is our Ketchikan Glow Community Lighthouse, which is originally just a women's ministry and has turned into much broader based it's in 170 countries. And I get the honor to pray for our nation as a part of the Northwest team when I'm going to DC in a couple of weeks, and to carry the assignment of declaring God's word for righteousness, truth, and justice into our nation. And so I truly believe in that divine healing, and I'm thankful to be able to pray for you, Brad.
Fantastic, Bonnie. Thank you for sharing. And is it been cold up in Alaska? People
It turned
think of
cold.
Alaska.
I'm in the southern southeast area, so I am in a rainforest. We did have record rainfall a couple weeks ago, 6 inches in one day. I wasn't noticing, I was a little busy. But my husband, I've been married to for 23 years, is not retired either. He's got his own photo studio and does all kinds of character shoots as well as events. And that's a part of what makes life fun in this small community where we make our own entertainment. It's a very tiny community, very remote, but it's the 4th largest city in Alaska.
Wow. Bonnie, tell me update everybody a little bit about Randy. How is Randy? You know, we're seeing bits and pieces of Randy's life, and it looks like he's been doing pretty well. How is he doing?
Yes, I got to go visit him in July, over the 4th of July weekend, and spent that time with him. And he's posted about his heart pacemaker recently and some issues with his brain. And he exhibits some brain changes, cognition affected by, I don't really know what. He says one thing and his wife says something else. But he, because of his level of care that he needs, he's moved into what's known as the Pioneer Home, one of them that's just outside of Anchorage. And they're doing such a good job stabilizing his blood sugar, stabilizing all the medications he needs so that he's able to be much more alert. He was on his own for a while, and he went off the rails with what he was eating or what he was taking into his body, and that really affected his thinking even more, so that he got really depressed. And nutrition affects that so hugely. But he's, because of that help and that shift in his attitude, he's really become so positive. He's happy to be where he's at. And there's a few friends that we've known since we were kids in King Salmon that are good friends and will visit him. But he's just really peaceful and happy. And he's busy visiting people there and going places. Friends come to see him all the time. And he's getting more mobile. So that mobility was prompted by a promise my sister made to him that she would fly him down to Puerto Vallarta for about 10 days. And we're planning that in February. And he really took it to heart and started doing his PT and getting his strength back and working his heart and getting his stamina going. And I'm so very thankful. He doesn't answer his phone well at all, though. So I have to message him sometimes just to connect.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad that he's doing better, Bonnie. Thank you for sharing. It's good to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, thank you.
Anita and Elena, how are you? Thank you for joining us. What's going on?
Well, Elaine took Cody home. That's her son who's autistic, because we're moving him out of his normal schedule and things. And so she was afraid he was going to be too loud and interrupt everybody. So she took him home. I've been here in Lincoln for 3 years. 3 years ago, I was sitting in the house after losing my husband the year before and realized I had a house paid for. And after talking to Dad, just really felt that, hey, I can sell this house because it was all paid for. I can move out to Lincoln, help Elaine take care of Mom and Dad. And so that's what I did 3 years ago. And of course, we lost mom. It'll be a year in November, and then dad in March. So right now I'm just hanging out here, kind of enjoying being retired and not having quite so much responsibility, although somehow I let them talk me into spending most of this last week with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders over at CVA. But I guess it's kind of like riding a bicycle. You don't forget how to teach, and everything went well. So at least I was still standing. But it went well. And let's see. The thing I really remember and want to say to like Art and Brad and all of you in that Brad's class, the thing that really stands out was how accepting you were when my class graduated from 8th grade and came up to the academy. And you didn't wait for school to start and the handshake to include us. You included us all from the moment we graduated with all kinds of activities that summer. The one I remember that I'm not sure my dad's so glad that I learned was the Chinese fire drills we would do downtown Bozeman. But it was a lot of fun and just a great blessing in my life. And I think about those moments, and those moments have helped carry me through some really hard times too. So I just want to let Brad know and Susan, we're praying for you and think about you guys often.
Thank you, Anita. It's so good to see you. I don't know if you remember, but your dad, you know, he was a special person in our lives. We were quite pleased when he became the principal of Mount Ellis Academy.
Indeed.
And he trusted me to drive you kids to your piano lessons. I can't remember. And he even gave me his car to drive back home on Christmas vacation one time. He had a special knack for trusting us kids, you know, and special family, you and your family, we love very much. And I'm just delighted that you're here, Anita.
Thank you. Thank you.
Zane, if I can jump in just for a moment. I remember when you and Clayton and I went to do a song. It was going to be for a talent program or something. And we went to him and he didn't approve of the song, but we went away feeling better about ourselves than before we walked in there to see him. I will always remember that. He was an amazing man.
He was amazing. He gave us good perspective. He wasn't judgmental, but he gave us a good perspective to think about. I really appreciated that about Elder Russell. Yeah. Thank you, Jerry. Jim, Dick, it's so good to see you. We talked earlier, but update everybody about what's going on in your life. How's retirement?
Yeah, retirement is good. I just wanted to say, you know, when Brad and Scott moved to Montana, it was Brad and Scott and Art and Larry and Jim and Bill that were, you know, the three brothers that had brothers that hung out and went camping and did all kinds of fun stuff together. And right after Brad's surgery, we got to see him. Bill and I were both there, and Scott and Brad came up like Weston had said. So we had a chance to visit with Brad a bit, and except for a big scar in the back of his head where they'd been playing around inside his brain, he was just the regular old Brad and looking good and feeling good. So it was really nice to touch base again with Brad. But yeah, retirement's been fun. As you can see in my background, my family's into some creative artwork, and these are all self-portraits we've done over the years. But I've been working on a creative writing project that I kind of started with my kids at the elementary school on alliteration stories. And Brad's been really encouraging for me to keep up with that project and to continue, you know, finishing it out. And he's anxious to see the final product to share with his grandkids. And so that's been part of what I've been doing for fun, is to do some creative picture drawing and illustrating of this book that I've been writing. So I'll have to share you all a copy of it when I get it done.
That'd be wonderful, Jim. Thank you. You know, you know, we go back to the grade school days, and even though you didn't graduate with us, you ran off to Wisconsin or somewhere. I can't remember where you ran off to, but
Yeah.
you know, Jim, you are a brother, and you know, is just a very special relationship that I feel towards you and your family, and I appreciate your being here, Jim.
Yeah, I always considered myself a 75 alum from Mount Ellis, even though I didn't make that senior year. So
you definitely are, Jim.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dee, how are you, Dee? Is that you? I can hardly see you. There you are, Dee's iPad.
How are you guys?
We
It's
are
to see
good.
everybody. Well, Brad and Susan, we've been praying for you daily, and we miss you in Colorado, but I'm not going to stay here forever. Gary's already up in the Bitterroot, working on our hangar. He's had a really hard time getting people to do work for him because they're all so busy. So he's finally, in all this cold and snow, he's on hold this week for the foundation pour. So we're about 20 miles north of my folks' place, and some of you have stopped and seen the folks. That's awful sweet of you. They love that. But we're going to be closer to them, and that's going to be good. So Jim, I made my cat go lay down.
How do you make a cat do anything?
You know, he's pretty good at following instructions. I just brought him back from Montana, and it sounds like it was a good idea because Gary's been going through a 15-gallon tank of propane every 2 days. And that's keeping the trailer at like 62 degrees. I'm not there. I don't like that stuff. So I'm sitting in Colorado and he's up there with my folks still. So it's really good to see all you guys. We hope to be living back up in Montana within maybe a year and a half. So we're crossing our fingers and hoping it all works out. You'll have to stop and see us. Maybe someday you'll even get a ride out of the airport if Gary gets his airplane finished.
Wonderful, Dee. It's great to see you. And tell us about Cher. We were hoping Cher would have joined us, but what's going on with Cher?
Well, she and Jerry are living just about 10 miles from Cataldo when you go over the hill from Spokane, from Coeur d'Alene to Missoula. And I don't know if maybe their Wi-Fi is not quite strong enough to do this kind of thing. I don't know. I saw her in August. We had a big Kyle reunion, 80 plus people in the Bitterroot. And it was really good to see she and Jerry. And we text once in a while, but we haven't seen each other that often for the last 20 years. So I think she's doing really good.
Wonderful. You know, unfortunately, we lost our dear friend Harold Dixon, you know, but I'll never forget, and some of you will maybe remember, particularly you, Jim, we took German class from Harold, you know, and I'll never forget Cher. She would, bless her heart, she's got red hair, she couldn't help herself, you know, but we had to do these German phrases, and if Cher couldn't do it just perfect, she just refused to do it, you know. I used to get the biggest kick out of her. We love her and miss her. I wish she could have been here. So
yeah,
it's great to see you, Dee. Thank you for sharing with us.
Good to see you guys.
Carol and Dwayne, it's so good to see you guys. I haven't talked to you in a coon's age. We all
I think they're the only ones that don't have 10-degree weather right now.
I know. Look at them sitting out in their backyard.
I hate to tell you this, but it's 82 degrees, and we're sitting on the patio.
Where are they?
Phoenix.
Oh, we're 80.
But 2 weeks ago it was 100 and something.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So
It's
are you
so
guys,
good to see you.
you guys are living in Phoenix area?
Yeah, we live in Scottsdale and we've been here since 1985. Dwayne was originally from Arizona, so he kind of convinced me to come down here. And it's like, I didn't realize. Anyway, we're still here. But yeah, we raised our family here. Our kids are in town. Megan is 33. She got married last November, and Andrew is 31. They're both, we see them quite often. And
we used to. Andrew's got a girlfriend now.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I'm still working 2 days a week as a dental hygienist. I've gone through a couple dentists that have retired on me. And so there's been a lot of learning curve, you know, as an old dental hygienist. I've had to learn technology, but I hope in a couple years I'll be done with it.
She won't make one more.
So anyway, getting hard.
And Dwayne, what about you? Are you retired? What has been your passion for the last 15 years besides your wife and your grandkid or your kids?
What is a better passion? Them and my family, and just keep them busy. I quit. Actually, my job was 2017. My job was cut from the hospital, so I got a job as a security guard at a gatehouse here in a very ritzy part of town, and I've been sitting on my butt for the last 3 years.
Okay. Well,
I enjoy the people, and I'm only working 3 days a week, so I'm heading towards retirement. Although Carol says I can't retire till I'm 70.
It's great to see you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're thinking of Brad and praying for
Yes.
Brad. And I've never met Susan. I think the last time I saw Brad was when we graduated from high school.
Yeah.
But it's really good to see all of you.
Well, our 50th is coming up in a little over a year, so you guys will have to plan a trip to Bozeman. It's really a wonderful opportunity to get together, and it's actually a pretty nice time of year. Penny might disagree with me. I know that sometimes she's still shoveling the snow in April, but it's worth the trek.
Seen that on
Facebook.
Bill and Sherry Kirkpatrick, it's so good to see you. You guys look like a couple Hollywood models in that square.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're looking well. What's going on in your lives? I know we talked earlier about, you've been working with Charlie and your dad and mom, but what's been going on with you guys? How are you?
We are doing fairly well. Like everybody else, we've had our challenges, and but it's been wonderful to have Charlie and Joe here at the Memory Care Center, and it was very, very difficult to lose Charlie, but that's been mostly Sherry's occupation, is taking care of Charlie and Joe, and I would help out on the weekends some. And so I actually got much closer to them. So that's been wonderful to have them. Other than that, I am still working half-time in theory. And in the wintertime, the other half is supposed to be skiing. And in the summer and spring, fall is supposed to be playing farmer. Because we are in the house that I grew up in after my dad passed away. So I would have loved to seen Brad and Susan, and want to tell you, Brad and Susan, that we are very sorry we missed you, but you are in our thoughts and prayers.
Yes, very much so.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Sherry. It's just wonderful to see you. And
Thank you.
we appreciate your sharing with us, and we look forward to seeing you. We'll be up there in April, so I hope we see you in April.
Good.
Okay.
You will.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we can make it that far out to the academy.
Clayton Moore, my friend,
Hey.
how are you? It's wonderful to see you. Thank you for being here.
Pretty good. I talked to Brad a few days ago, so this is just me going, "Hey, here I am again." And so not much more I can really say to him that I didn't say a few days ago, but it's good to see everybody else. I like everyone else and just sharing with you folks, of course, that the news of this whole thing was a bit of a shocker. And I can say definitively that sometimes things sneak up on you and happen to you without you knowing. And you just deal with it, and it's not easy, but we pray every day for Brad and for Susan and for everybody we love. It seems to me like the last few years have been tough for everybody in many respects. Everyone's lost a lot, it seems, but we have each other, and we have God, and we have our memories, and we have love, which never dies, of course. And I don't know hardly what else to say other than that, but love you all, and I'm semi-retired and do video streaming and video production and stuff like that. So work with some government and nonprofit people, and every now and then bump into people, like, let's see, Monday, I get to meet Angela Davis. Remember her?
Oh, yeah.
The Black Panthers?
Yeah. Wow.
Boy, how's that for a life? I don't know what to say about that. Anyway, so here you go. Yeah, I'm just do my thing. I'd like to be creative still and all that. But it's good to see people's faces. It's good to know how important people are, and to treasure the memories and to treasure the love, and I don't know what else to say than that, I guess.
Really good to see you.
Clayton and I had the privilege of, Jeannie and I had moved out to Sacramento for a few years, and Clayton and I were able to have some really great conversations and lunches together, and those are lifetime gifts that just keep on giving, that I really cherish, and I appreciate you, Clayton, and thank you for sharing with us, and Clayton and Denise have a grandson. They spend a lot of time with their grandson. How old is he now? 4 or 5?
Four is going to be 5 next year, but he's 4.
Oh my gosh.
He's about as busy as they get. You know how that works.
Yeah, well, he spends what, 3 or 4 days a week?
Oh yeah, yeah. When I'm not doing other stuff, it's babysit time here. So
that's
how that works.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Clayton. It's good to see you. Daryl and Gwen, thank you for joining us. It's so good to see you. Can you hear
me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is
What's
there an
going
echo?
on?
I'm picking up an echo here. I don't want to make that uncomfortable for everyone.
Are you driving your truck and trailer still, Daryl, or are you retired now?
No, I always said, when I grew up and got to be as old as you, Zane, I was going to retire. So I gave it up about 2 years ago now. And I'm really sorry to hear what Sherry had to say about Dave, because he promised me he would be our doctor until he was 75.
Oh.
I don't know.
You know where we live, though, so.
Yes, I do. And I have to say, in seriousness, he is one fine doctor.
Yes, he is.
my wife and I have to go see him once a year to keep our medications coming in, and it's about a 20-minute meeting, and about 15 minutes of it's laughing and telling old stories and listening to him for 5 minutes, say, "You're healthy, get out of here." I have to say, we got on here and I recognized everybody right away, except he just got up and left, and that was Rick's dad. And Gwen figured out who it was, but most of you we've seen, not too distant past. In fact, us here from Walla Walla. I saw a few of you in church today, so we don't have to go very far to meet a lot of you. I have to say that we bumped into Brad and Susan a number of times over the years, because his mother owns a house there in the village, and they're down there occasionally, so we would see them. It's really sorry. It's really tough to see people younger than you get into serious health issues. That's what the old are supposed to do, not the young. And Brad and Susan, we're really sorry to you have to go through this, but
I think it's Gwen's computer.
one of these days it's going to be a lot better. And hopefully by the next time you're in Walla Walla, we'll bump into you on the streets of the villages again. I could tell stories for the next hour about half you guys. And Carol and Dwayne, we're planning on being down at the reunion the 1st of April. Maybe we can bump into you down there if you'll come out on the campus. And the rest of you, hopefully at Mount Ellis in April also. We always look forward to seeing everybody. Rick's dad, you never heard me. I said we recognize everybody but you. But now that I know who you are, you do look familiar. But the dog that was sitting on your lap that reminded me of you, but I'm not. Good seeing everyone again, and we're not going to waste any of the rest of your time, but God willing, we'll all be together here in not too distant future.
Yes.
Amen.
Thank you, Daryl. Gwen, it's good to see you too. I'm surprised you're so quiet. That's not quite like you.
I know. Probably had a gag order.
Tell me about how it's. Go ahead and let them hear your voice, because otherwise they're going to think I'm stepping on your toes or something.
Well, I will say this. One time somebody was telling Daryl if he was interested in having books on CDs or whatever to listen to while I was traveling. And he said, "Nah," he says, "I have her." He's pointing to me.
Well, I know
That
that.
makes traveling a lot more interesting. I'll have to say that.
Well, we love you guys dearly, and thank you for joining us. Daryl and Gwen, you're special people.
We wouldn't have missed it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Karen and Steve, thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to see you. Karen,
Yes.
what's
Yes.
going on in your life and where are you living?
Okay, well, first I want to just extend to Brad and Susan and their family how much we're keeping them in our prayers and thinking about them. And so our best wishes to you. So just an update on us. My husband Gary and I retired from our positions at Loma Linda in the end of March, sold our house like 15 days later and moved to Walla Walla College Place within a week after that. So very tall place. And so I'm doing volunteer work in several capacities to help get acquainted with people here in the Valley. So enjoying it very much. And my husband is volunteering at the Blue Mountain Broadcasting with his video engineering skills. And so we're staying busy as we want to be. And our kids live in Bozeman. So our plan is to go over there every so often and hang with them. So, all right.
Wonderful. Walnut?
So did you say you moved to College Place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at Karen's house, and she fed me lunch today, and we were just in time to get on to this call. So anyway, I'm like many of you, also retired. I'm in my first year of retirement, and Karen and I are from the town called Plentywood in Montana. And I don't know if any of you had been out there on a academy tour with the music choir trip or anything. So we were just out there in Plentywood. We took the train out there, and our dad just had his 95th birthday.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, amazing. So it's good that Karen is here. I'm here also in College Place, and it's good to have her nearby. I have two daughters. One lives in Baltimore and had a baby. That would be our first grandchild back in December. So I go to Baltimore frequently. Every 3 or 4 months, I'll make a trip out there and spend time with, her name is Alma. And then my other daughter lives in Germany, Heidelberg, Germany. So been there one time to visit, and probably going to go again in the spring. Anyway, inside, I feel like I'm still academy age, I feel okay, and I'm grateful for that. But outwardly, I know the calendar has just clicked off so many years, and it's hard to believe we're at retirement age. But we can be thankful God has been with us. Now back over to Brad and Susan. I hear updates from Mel and Joyce Lang, who are part of your family. I get updates about Brad and from them, and just want to assure you, Brad and Susan, that you're in our prayers. And one thing I'll always remember about Brad is his charismatic smile. He just smiled so easily and made you feel like a friend right off. And that's a wonderful gift he's given to people. And so, yeah. So all the best. And our thoughts and prayers go up every day.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to see you. I know that life has had its challenges for you too, and our hearts have been with you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Art King, is that you?
Yes, can you hear me?
Nice to see you. I can hear you just fine. You've been acting like a church mouse back there.
I was thinking about a memory of Brad that I have, a very vivid memory of Brad standing up for amateur hour, playing his saxophone with his mom on the piano, playing, just knocking it out of the park on that saxophone. I don't know if others of you can remember that, but Brad, we're so sorry. Life is so totally unfair for something like this to have to hit you right now in the flood tide of your life and your grandchildren. And we're just praying for you, man. So it's so great to catch up with all of you folks and get the stories here and there. And I feel kind of like a scufflaw. I retired 13 years ago. I sold my business in 2010 and retired. And so, I've been pretty much worthless since then. And all the rest of you are being so productive. It's really something. Other thing that you guys should know today, just hours ago, I sat down in church and I made the mistake of sitting in the pew ahead of Gwen. And she tapped my shoulder and said, PDA, because I had my arm around my wife. PDA, PDA. You can run, but you can't hide.
I think we found somebody who can lie as well as I do.
So
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Oh,
So who do we have next, Art? Is this Carol or Mary? Carol?
that's Carol.
Carol,
Carol, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I can't hear you.
Let
can't
me,
hear you.
here, hang on, let me try this.
I can't hear you.
There.
There we go.
Am I on now?
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Hey, okay. We were privileged to see Brad. I was with my brothers just since his surgery. And so he was just so Brad still. And so our thoughts and prayers are with Brad and Sue as well. So my husband and I have lived in the Portland area for many years. And when he retired in 2020, we moved to northern Idaho. We had bought property just before we got here, and we're still trying to build on it. And we live in a shop with my brother in a trailer, and it's my brother Bill's shop and sister Bonnie's property. And so we're having not the ideal retirement experience so far, but we're making it. The Lord is giving us strength day to day.
I think we lost her.
Yeah, I think so.
No, here she is again.
Well,
She's trying to come
she
back.
could have some weak Wi-Fi, it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi keeps on and off, so it's like,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Well, it's good to see all you guys. It's really fun, and thanks, Zane, for putting this together.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to see you. Let's see if we can get Faye. I know
Good
Faye.
to see you.
I know Faye is with us on audio.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Faye, are you?
Yes.
Hey! Oh my
Hey,
gosh,
so good
Faye.
to hear you.
Hey.
Surprise.
How are you, Faye? It's nice to hear your voice. Tell us what's going on in your life.
Well, my husband and I are living in Kashmir, Washington. And Mel is still working physical therapy in home health, planning to work till 70, but keeps saying he wishes he was retired. And I mostly enjoy kids and grandkids when they come, and just living a quiet life. We just finished watching the pear harvest here, which is always fun and interesting. And our grandkids are Ryan's children. Louisa is going to turn 8 the 1st of December. And Marvin is just turned 7. No, Louisa's going to turn 9. Good grief. Okay. They grow too fast. So we enjoy them whenever they can come. And I was thinking of memories of Brad. And I also remember his big smile and his his inability to whisper quietly in class would almost get him in trouble. But very, very friendly, happy. We're praying for you. So
yeah.
Thank you, Faye. It's wonderful to hear your voice. We're just delighted that you joined us. And I'm grateful for each one of you. I retired from United Airlines in 2021, had a wonderful 36-year career there, was blessed to live out my passion for flying, and I immediately unretired and went to work for a little company flying little corporate jets and did that. And for a little over a year and a half, Jeannie and I decided to move back to Texas. We didn't exactly pick the best time of year to move. We were driving through Phoenix and Tucson in July. It was 120 degrees, and we got into Texas. It was 109 degrees, and we decided to save money and do U-Pack move. So we had all these little pods, and we thought that was smart, unloading all these boxes in 107-degree weather.
No.
But, we got through it. We were delighted to be back in Texas. We found a nice home here in Bentwater on the Lake Conroe. Anyway, we've been blessed. We have 4 grandkids, and our kids are all doing really, really well. And we are blessed to have our health and our kids, and we enjoy them very much. I just recently signed up to be a sim instructor. I'm doing Boeing 767 simulator instruction for a company, Air Transport International. So we'll be going up to Dallas, and it's a contract work, so I can just do as much as I want. I'll maybe do 6 to 9 days a month and kind of give back to the industry a little bit. But I just love each one of you, value our years together. We have decided to go to the alumni during the 4 years that we lived there. It doesn't matter if it was class of 73, 74. Of course, we're looking forward to our 50th, but we lived together with the class of 72, 73, 74, 75. So we were all brothers and sisters, and these were wonderful times that we spent together. And Brad and Susan, you are wonderful, dear friends of ours. Our hearts go out to you. We grieve and are sad for anyone who is experiencing life's difficulties, which we all have done, but this is serious. We recognize that, and we want you to know that you are on our hearts and our prayers every day.
Every day.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I will say about Brad that I have really admired in the past few weeks, he is just interested in what everyone's doing. He doesn't seem to be looking inward any more than ever. He just, when he engages with me or whoever, he's still very, very interested in what's happening and with anyone. So that's a gift for sure, and inspiration indeed.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's sure cool to see everybody. It makes me want to jump in the screen and be there. And I feel we've been far away for a while, but through the miracle of Facebook, you do connect in ways, but it always makes me feel extra far away when I see people getting together back at home in Mount Ellis, and with Joe's funeral and Harold's funeral, and now Charlie passing. It just really, really makes us want to be closer.
Yeah.
Well, every day is special. Keep in touch with each other, and we just have enjoyed being together with each of you so much. And we will pass this along to Brad. Each of you, if you ever have any opportunities to communicate, I know Brad and Susan love to hear from you. Sometimes texting is better, just because then it gives them an opportunity to respond when they have the right time for them. And it's not going to be an easy situation for them moving forward, but I know that they love to hear from each one of us. So it's
so inspiring to see, excuse me, a group of people from few decades back, they are many, just have this love and care and nurturing of each other. And, it's just being on the outside, it's just so inspiring to see this and be a part of it, albeit on the sidelines here. So I think you are all so inspiring.
Thank you, Zane and Jeannie, for putting this
Thank you.
together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank
Let's
you, Zane.
let's reschedule
Yeah.
when Brad is available.
Let's do
That
it.
sounds good.
Sounds good.
Thank you,
Sounds
Zane.
really
and,
good.
Thank you, Zane,
Okay.
for putting this together, and
Yeah.
it's been good seeing all your smiling faces.
Thank
Blessings
you.
on
Talk
We
to you
love you
again.
guys.
David, I sent you a message as well. So
Thank you.
Right. Good night.
Good night,
Stay
guys.
in touch, guys. Love
Bye.
you.
Bye.
bye.
I don't have
Thank
anything
you.
for you, but love you.
Bye, everyone.
Love you all.
Jeannie.
Let's see, how do I build it?